One of the questions people ask me most often is this: how do I know if what I'm feeling is fear or intuition? It's a difficult question because both can make us hesitate, both can feel uncomfortable, and both can make us wonder whether we should move forward or walk away. Most people think the answer is to think harder, to analyze more, to gather more information. I've come to believe the answer isn't to think harder, it's to become quieter. And one of the things that creates that quiet is acceptance. Before asking, is it fear or intuition? I think there's another question we should ask first. Do I trust myself to respond to whatever happens next? Because if I don't trust myself to handle disappointment or uncertainty or unexpected outcomes, I'll desperately want certainty. I'll want guarantees. I'll want to know, am I making the right decision? And that's exactly where fear gets louder. Fear starts asking, what if this goes wrong? What if I regret it? What if I fail? What if people judge me? Fear isn't bad. Fear has an important job. Its job is to protect us. We need fear. But fear wasn't designed to make every important decision in our lives. I've also noticed that sometimes what keeps us stuck isn't fear, it's attachment. We become attached to one particular outcome. We want the relationship to work. We want the person to change. We want the opportunity. We want life to unfold the way we've imagined it. And when that happens, we stop looking for truth. We start looking for confirmation. We explain away red flags. We minimize what we're seeing. We tell ourselves, it will probably get better. We're just no longer listening to reality. We're defending what we hope is true. Sometimes the truth is right in front of us. People tell us who they are, they show us through their actions. Life shows us through circumstances. The question is, are we listening to what's actually there or to the story we wish were true? And I think that's worth asking ourselves. Am I really looking for the answer or am I looking for confirmation? Because those are two very different things. If I'm only willing to accept one outcome, then I'm probably not listening anymore. I'm negotiating with reality. I learned something years ago while building my first company. Early in my entrepreneurial journey, I learned a negotiation principle from another business leader I admired, and it stayed with me. During the second half of my career, I started using it myself. Before walking into an important negotiation, I decided what my bottom line was. Not my ideal outcome, my bottom line. The point where, if the answer was no, I was genuinely prepared to walk away. And for me, it became a matter of respect: respect for my own time, respect for the other person's time, but above all, respect for the answer. If the deal wasn't right, it wasn't right. I didn't want to spend hours or weeks negotiating with reality. I respected the answer. If the answer was no, I wanted to know. Because you can't build something meaningful on an answer that isn't really there. Because once you know the truth, you can move forward. And years later, I realized this has very little to do with business. It applies to almost every important decision we make. And one sentence has been coming back to me over and over lately. Intuition can only speak clearly after we have stopped arguing with reality. The more attached we become to one particular outcome, the harder it is to hear ourselves clearly. Because we're no longer asking, what is true? We're asking, how can I make this work? And these are two different questions. Maybe self trust isn't believing you'll always make the perfect decision. Maybe it's trusting yourself to respond to whatever happens next, to learn, to adjust, to grow, to find your way forward. So, next time you're wondering whether it's fear or intuition, don't ask yourself which answer you want. Ask yourself this instead: am I willing to hear no and walk away if that's what reality is telling me? Because if the answer is yes, you're much more likely to hear your intuition. Because intuition can only speak clearly after we've stopped arguing with reality.